You was thinking about it.
For real, y'all don't even know.
Seriously, was I? How you know? You in my head now? Dare to be different.
Days,
just dare to be different. You don't have to be like your friends.
For real.
Them elders would get together.
And it was so funny how you remember how the elders used to be like, I know this little girl ain't no good. You just don't know it. I used to be like, how do you know? But then you grow up or maybe figure it out like 20 years later. You be like, dang, I remember my mom used to say that.
Man.
She wasn't no good. Or he wasn't no good. You be like, dang, they really be knowing.
They do be knowing though. But they're designed that way. But that's also because they had nothing else to do. Not like that, but they paid more attention to the children. You get what I'm saying? They paid more. They were involved. I think like today, parents feel like as long as I can give you what you need, including video games and stuff that you know, the necessities and the luxuries, as long as I can do that, as long as I can give you a roof over your head, as long as I'm going to work and whatever, they think that's okay. What happened to installing traditions and respect and understanding in the kids? Like, they don't understand that. That's why mama and them was able to say, nah, she gonna be fast by the time she 14 if you don't stop doing that, you know what I mean? Or treating her that way.
They already knew because they grew, they lived it. You got to remember back then, we're not too many generations removed from like the slavery days, but certain things they used to see. Being 12 and 14 years old and bearing children was not like abnormal, or it wasn't something that wasn't unseen, but it wasn't right. We all knew it. So to have the option not to, and you choosing to be fast, oh yeah, that was definitely looked down upon. Like, you know better, carry yourself better than that. You don't have to be like that. There's some people who will love and respect you, minus you acting like that. Mm-hmm. I think we should get back to that too.
No, we should. We definitely should.
Yep.
We need to, because the time that we live in right now, and things are changing so much and it's changing so rapidly, we definitely need to get more involved with our children and start teaching them things that are important, you know, things our grandparents taught us.
Right.
And some others, because I'm not going to sit up here and say all mothers was like that, but due to the, you know, the crack epidemic or whatever, you know, that damaged a lot of families and a lot of relationships, you know what I mean? Especially in our generation.
Especially on the West Coast, California especially.
We got hit really bad with that.
Exactly. So, but I am still grateful for everybody from that generation, grandmother, great-grandmothers, great-grandparents, whatever, parents, aunties, whoever they were to you. I'm grateful for the people that came before me that showed me and taught me what I know today, because we're in the pandemic and there's so many people who don't know the basics. Like we said, like how to cook a meal, how to clean the kitchen.
Yourself. And then heal yourself. Yep.
Yeah, how to heal yourself, how to do anything for themselves. So I'm really grateful to have them, to have learned from some great people.
You know, the other day, it was yesterday, I think you were telling me, or no, maybe it was last week, I don't remember. But anyways, you was telling me something about along the lines of like our parents, right? How they had, you know, they had surrounded the drug thing, right? And no, they wasn't perfect. No, there's some things that I think in our generation, a lot of people was holding on to the fact, well, my mom wasn't there for me or my dad wasn't there for me. F that nigga, F that and whatever, but those are your parents. But I think what people don't understand is that happened for a reason. So instead of hating your mom or hating your dad, I think a lot of people need to step back, right? And say, you know what? I went through this because I was strong enough to get through it, but I also learned from it. So some of the things I learned growing up, because, you know, I'm not going to say my mom wasn't there, but she wasn't there. You get what I'm saying? I know the conversation. Yeah, my grandmother raised me, right? So for me, I had as I was growing up, I used to have a lot of animosity towards my mother, and I felt like, you know, you could have done better. But by the time I turned 18, I had met someone who taught me a valuable lesson about letting things go that no longer serves you or control you. Now that you're an adult, and I learned that really early. So by the time I turned 18, you know, I was pregnant with my first daughter. Or my first child, and what happened was, I think I talked to one of my aunties, and she said something to me along the lines of, you know, she only did the best she could, and it dawned. So today I'm saying that my mother may have not been there in the way that I expected her to be there, but she was there the way that she was supposed to be during that time because of the things she had going on.
And based off of what she knew.
Yeah. And based off of what she knew. But it taught me certain things of what not to do. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? And for that, I'm grateful. And I appreciate it. I don't hate her. I don't, oh my God, I don't F with her.
I just love you from where you are.
Yeah, I just love you from where you are. And the things that you did do based off what you knew how to do.
Mm-hmm. And that's the acceptance that I've come to terms with everybody in my life, good or bad. Like that conversation came up about just certain things that I was healing through. And just some of those things happen to be like very close to home, some very familial. But I realized just in some of my, revelations that they only did what they knew. They couldn't love me the way I needed them to love me because they didn't love themselves. And when I look at those people today, they're still a reflection of that same, I'll say, lack of self-love. Mm-hmm. Some self-hate, and so they project the same things off on everybody else. And it was nothing, it wasn't necessarily personal.
Right.
It's just like in their time, my upbringing was definitely different than so many other people. So with my situation, it did make certain family members hate me, didn't like me because they resented the fact that somebody else had to step in and be there for these kids and this and that and the other. And it's taken from them, And so they resented us when they should have loved on us, not knowing that they're healing from something. They're going through something traumatic. And when they grow up, they're going to grow up to be young people who are going to be dealing with what family did back then. But I don't think they thought that far ahead. So they could only love me from their own capacity. They could only think from where their mind frames were. And unfortunately, some of their minds have not ever changed.
Right.
They're still like that, but you know what? It's no love lost. Just either accept me or not for who I am. But you're here where you are, and I'm where I am.
Exactly.
And I'm cool with that. I've definitely grown to just be accepting.
And I think people, as you said, as you get older and stuff, and you start to realize certain things and you want to heal, people got to learn to let certain things go and understand that it's not, people be like, oh, I experienced this bad experience. It was so negative. It was so toxic. How about it was just a learning experience? Mm-hmm. The only reason why you keep calling it bad or it was toxic or it was negative is because you still haven't learned from it. Mm-hmm. So once you learn from it, you know what? It becomes a lesson.
Yep.
And for me, mine was a lesson. Like you said, a lot of them are still living in that same energy. And guess what? I love you, but I'm going to love you over there.
Yep.
Okay?
I don't give free promotion to any downfalls or any haters.
Right. So I'm not doing it.
Yeah, so I'm not going to be talking and harboring over stuff that didn't. You good.
But thank you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Thank you, because if, like you said, if certain things didn't happen to us growing up, then we probably wouldn't be the women that we are today. I think
I'm a very phenomenal woman.
Me too.
I'm proud of who I am today. Not too. Not even proud, because that doesn't come off right. But I'm happy with the woman I'm growing into.
Exactly. I agree with you.
I'm not the same person that I was a year ago, not 10 years ago.
Not even 6 months ago.
Right.
That's crazy, right?
Not even yesterday.
For real.
But in reality, people don't respect your growth, especially if they've known you. And we were just listening to something the other day or last night about on my horoscope. But yeah, some people won't. If they've known you all your life, they may not respect who you've grown to be. Mm-hmm. They might be like, oh, no, that's still little Ray Ray from down the street. No, right. But Ray Ray actually has a degree. Ray Ray actually has been on the job this amount of time, has done this, that, and the other, is an esteemed person. Respect him as such. Why do we have to still, down talk and downplay who people are because we haven't reached a certain level?
Exactly.
Gloat about who that person is today. But hey, many people don't see me as the new person.
I'm about mine.
It's mine, so I ain't even got to ask you for it.
For real. I really don't. But I get what you're saying, though. I'm not just Lil Nikki, okay? I'm
real.
not. Like, I done had some experiences in 2020. You know, people were like, oh, 2020 was the worst year. Oh my God, nobody expected this. Let me tell y'all, 2020 was a lesson, man. Like the development of who I am today, 2020, like really just put like added fuel to the fire of, hey, yo, you're going this way. And lit my ass on fire. And guess what? I'm happy. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying a lot of bad things that happened in 2020. We lost a lot of people, you know, and we're going through a phase right now where it's getting worse. So we just got to do what we have to do. But again, it was still a good year, though. You get what I'm saying? People touched money that they ain't never touched. People took some of that money and some did the right thing with it. Some people sharpened their skills. I had just posted something the other day about from this site where they promote black businesses, right? And I thought about it too, and I said, you know what? This year we figured out who the black nail techs are.
Yep.
Who got on real salons, who's really hustling, who has went back to school,
who has what
certifications,
we need.
who has they're studying holistic
sharing.
healings and things like that. I said, dang, like our people are great. Like we look what happened in just a year. You get what I'm saying? Like all of this talent came to the front line. All of it. So don't say that you can't do it. Don't say that we can't do it. We just got to get past that what people call hashtag cliche, the haterism. You get what I'm saying? We got to get past that, looking at our sister and our brother as, you know, oh, you think you're so much better.
Competition.
Yeah, it's not that.
We don't have to compete. There's enough. Yeah. You know what? I want to speak on something because it came to my mind earlier. The lack mentality. The lack mentality breeds that kind of haterism or that kind of, I'm not going to resource you. I'm not going to tell you about this opportunity or how you can get ahead too, because you're going to take from me, or it's not going to be enough for me, or you're going to do better than me. If you have a lack mentality attitude, you're going to always have that thought process.
Yep.
But if you know that there's enough out here for everybody to get it, if you really truly believe in abundance, then you wouldn't even be worried about sharing resources. If it's free and ready, available to you to give to somebody else, share it. Especially if you're a business owner and you say, well, it took me so long to get started. It took me a whole lot of learning and, I have to learn so much. I did it by myself. Then why would you want to make it or see the next person have to struggle just as hard when you can answer a question just off the bat? I'm not saying be like this open reservoir of information, but if a person is struggling with something that you know you can answer, why make them fish around for it?
Exactly.
Give it up. Just be like, oh yeah, just go look on the state website and going down, whatever it is. Just freaking tell them.
Because guess what? Other cultures do it.
And don't be, and it doesn't even, haterism, whatever you want to categorize it as, help out. Stop making it so about you, or I'm only going to tell you if you help me. If you help me with something, then I'll tell you something.
And what's funny about that, what you just said too, is people don't understand there's so much money to go around. There is so much. If y'all worried about money, there's so much money. Like, think about it. We've been giving our money to other people for a really long time. You know what I mean? There's
Black
so much
Friday,
money.
we still giving it away. If you are shopping, if you bought anything on sale, if you purchase anything during the holiday season, you are still giving your money away. Especially if it was not a necessity. Like, you really didn't need to go and buy something. You're a contributor. You're a contributor to the consumerism. You're not really like a producer. And then if you, I'm always be for our black people. If you are black, buy black. Buy black first. I would start there. If you can't find what you're looking for, I get you like searching outside the market. But then go back and revisit that later. Go and find out where you can find it maybe later on. Don't go to, they don't make it. So man, there's so many black resources out there. And it didn't just all start in 2020. It's come to the limelight in 2020. But so many black people have been like holding it down forever. So don't get it twisted. There's black brands out there that looks better than Louis Vuitton and Gucci and all that other kind of crap.
But guess what? Even with that,
we don't support.
Even with that, we can have our own black brands be big brands. You get what I'm saying? If we learn to support our own brands. But no, we want to go out and buy the $350 Louis Vuitton wallet. It's a wallet. Okay, but her sis down the street, she says she got a little clothing line that's really nice. It's very professional. It's popping. But you won't go spend $25 or $30 on her brand.
That
And it
costs too
looks
much.
better. And it looks better. Well, it ain't Louis Vuitton. Well, her brand will never be Louis Vuitton because guess what? You won't make it
support
that.